Odyssey of the Skies, the Great American Flyways, the Invisible Clock. The story begins not with a movement, but with a feeling. As the golden hues of the American late summer begin to fade into the crisp, sharp air of autumn, an ancient chemical reaction begins inside the brain of a creature no heavier than a handful of coins. This is the Zugunruhe, a German word used by biologists to describe migratory restlessness. In the vast boreal forests of Canada and the wetlands of the American Midwest, trillions of biological clocks are striking midnight. The animation should depict the internal world of a bird, the pulsing of hormones, the sharpening of instincts. It isn't a choice, it is a command. For millions of years, the tilt of the Earth has dictated the terms of survival. As the sun sets earlier each day, the reduction in light triggers the pituitary gland. The birds begin to feast, a phase called hyperphagia. They aren't just eating, they're transforming their bodies into high-performance engines, doubling their weight in fat to serve as high-octane fuel for the thousands of miles ahead. The four great highways. To understand migration in North America, one must see the continent not through the lens of political borders, but through the flyways. Imagine four celestial superhighways etched into the atmosphere. The first is the Atlantic Flyway, hugging the rugged coastline from Greenland down to the Caribbean. This is the path of the resilient seabirds and the tiny warblers who brave the salt spray and the unpredictable nor'easters. Moving inland, we find the Mississippi Flyway. This is the busiest artery of all. It follows the Great Lakes and the massive winding spine of the Mississippi River. This river of birds provides a green corridor of forests and wetlands, acting as a vital rest stop for millions of ducks, geese, and songbirds. The animation should show the sheer density of life here, a literal cloud of feathers moving southward like a slow-moving storm. Further west lies the Central Flyway, crossing the Great Plains and the shadow of the Rocky Mountains. This is the domain of the sandhill crane and the golden eagle, where birds must navigate the vast open prairies and the sudden violent thunderstorms of the American heartland. Finally, the Pacific Flyway traces the edge of the world, from the Alaskan tundra over the towering redwoods of California down to the volcanic peaks of Mexico. These are the veins of the continent, the lifelines that sustain the pulse of the planet. Chapter 3: The Quantum Navigator. The greatest mystery of the migration has always been, how do they know where to go? For a long time, we thought they simply followed landmarks, but the truth is far more profound. It is a feat of quantum physics. In the eye of a migratory bird, there is a protein called cryptochrome. Scientists believe this allows birds to actually see the Earth's magnetosphere. In the animation, the world should transform. The familiar green forests fade, and the screen is filled with shimmering blue lines of force, the magnetosphere. To a bird, the Earth is a glowing grid. But they don't rely on just one map. They are master multitaskers. By day, they use a solar compass, calculating the sun's arc across the sky. By night, they turn to the heavens. Like ancient Polynesian voyagers, they read the constellations. They recognize the North Star and the rotation of the galaxy. This is the stellar compass, an inherited map etched into their DNA, allowing a hatchling who has never left its nest to find a specific forest in Brazil with the precision of a GPS.
The marathon of the ruby-throated hummingbird. Let us zoom in on a single protagonist, the ruby-throated hummingbird. Weighing less than a nickel, this tiny emerald jewel is preparing for a feat that defies logic. It stands on the edge of the Gulf of Mexico. Ahead lies 500 miles of open water. There are no trees to rest in, no flowers for nectar. If it stops flapping its wings for even a minute, it will drown. The animation should capture the intensity of this flight. The hummingbird's heart beats 1,200 times per minute. Its wings move so fast they are a blur of kinetic energy. It must maintain a precise altitude to catch the tailwinds. Throughout the night, the bird flies, burning through its fat reserves until it is literally consuming its own muscle for energy. When it finally reaches the shores of the Yucatan Peninsula, it is a skeletal shadow of its former self, yet it has survived. This is the triumph of life over the impossible.
The V formation and the law of aerodynamics. High above the plains, we see the iconic V formation of the Canada goose. This is not for aesthetics. It is a masterpiece of teamwork and physics. As the lead bird flaps its wings, it creates a vortex of air behind it, an upwash. The bird behind it positions its wing to catch this rising air, significantly reducing the effort required to fly. Animation can illustrate the airflow using colorful wind tunnel effects. By flying in this formation, the flock can fly 70% further than a bird flying alone. But there is a price to pay. The leader at the tip of the V takes the full force of the wind resistance. When the leader tires, it rotates to the back of the line, and another takes its place. They communicate constantly, honking to encourage the leader and keep the pace. It is a collective intelligence, a society built on the shared goal of survival. The predators and the gauntlet. The journey is a gauntlet of death. Migration is the ultimate filter of natural selection. Waiting in the mountain passes and along the coastlines are the interceptors, the peregrine falcon and the Cooper's hawk. These predators synchronize their own life cycles to the migration, knowing that a literal buffet of exhausted songbirds will soon be passing through. The animation should be tense here. A group of warblers enters a narrow canyon. Suddenly, a shadow drops from the clouds at 200 miles per hour. The stoop of a falcon is the fastest movement in the animal kingdom. Survival here depends on split-second maneuvers and the safety of numbers. But predators are a natural part of the balance. The real danger is something the birds never evolved to handle: the modern human world. The labyrinth of glass and light. As the birds fly over the great American megacities, New York, Chicago, Houston, they encounter a lethal landscape of glass and light. For a bird that navigates by the stars, the brilliant glow of a skyscraper is a trap. They become disoriented, circling the artificial lights until they collapse from exhaustion or strike the glass, which reflects the sky and appears to be open air. Animation should show the confusion of a bird entering a city at night. The Tribute in Light in New York, while a beautiful memorial, can trap thousands of birds in its beams. However, there is hope. Lights Out programs across the U.S. are encouraging cities to dim their skyline during peak migration weeks. We are learning to share the sky, to turn off the lights so the ancient travelers can find their way home. The changing winds of climate. The most silent and deadly threat is the shifting of the seasons. Migration is a game of timing. The birds must arrive at their destination exactly when the insects are hatching or the flowers are blooming. This is called phenological synchrony. But as the American climate warms, the plants are blooming earlier and the insects are emerging before the birds arrive. Imagine an animation showing a bird arriving in an Alaskan meadow, only to find the caterpillars have already turned into butterflies and flown away. The bird has missed the window to feed its chicks. This ecological mismatch is the greatest challenge of the 21st century. Species that have traveled the same path for 10,000 years are finding the rules of the game have changed overnight. The return of the monarch, the insect migrant. While we focus on feathers, we must not forget the most delicate traveler of all, the monarch butterfly. Their migration is a multi-generational relay race. A single butterfly cannot complete the journey from Canada to the Oyamel fir forests of central Mexico. Instead, it takes 4 generations. The animation should follow the super generation. Most monarchs live for a few weeks, but the generation born in late summer, leave these for 8 months. They fly thousands of miles to a specific cluster of trees they have never seen, guided by a solar compass and a magnetic sense. They huddle in the millions, turning the green trees into a shimmering orange. When spring comes, they head north, lay eggs and die, passing the torch to their children to continue the journey back to the milkweed patches of the American North. Conservation awakening. The story of migration is not just a story of birds, it is a story of human connection. From the bird banders in the mist nets of Pennsylvania to the satellite tracking scientists in the laboratories of Cornell, humans are working to map these journeys. We are building stepping stones, restoring wetlands, planting native gardens, and protecting the stopover sites that act as gas stations for the sky. The animation should show a map of North America lighting up with green zones, protected areas where birds can safely rest. When we save a wetland in Louisiana, we are saving a bird that breeds in the Arctic. We are realizing that to protect a bird, we must protect the entire hemisphere. Conclusion: the eternal thread. As the sun rises over the southern wintering grounds, the rainforests of the Amazon, the pampas of Argentina, or the mangroves of Panama, the travelers finally land. The journey that began with a chemical spark in a cold forest ends in a riot of tropical color. Migration is the thread that sews the world together. It proves that there is no such thing as an isolated ecosystem. A bird singing in a backyard in Ohio is the same bird that will wake up a farmer in Costa Rica a month later. They are the messengers of the planet, carrying the health of the north to the south and back again. As long as the earth tilts and the seasons turn, the Great Odyssey will continue, a testament to the unyielding power of life and the magnificent, fragile patterns of the wind.